Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to be revisiting a brand that it's been a while since I have tried anything new out from this brand. It is the brand ColourPop. I've been a long time fan of ColourPop, but they are one of those brands because they are constantly releasing new makeup products. I get burned out on them very quickly. So it's been a while since I have bought anything new from ColourPop, but I have a handful of new things here today, a couple of 9pan eyeshadow palettes that we're gonna have a look at and test out together. I also have a couple of lip products. I picked up a new concealer. I have tried this concealer out before. I do like it, but it's been a while since I own this one. And then I picked up one of their new cream blushes. So this one should be fun if you're a ColourPop fan. Before we get into all of that good stuff though, if you are new here, I want to wish you a special welcome. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave and make sure that your notifications are turned on. And with that said, let's jump right in. Okay, so I thought I would show you guys the things that I picked up first, and then we'll get into the trying on portion of this video. So I picked up 3 of their 9pan eyeshadow palettes, and this is going to make you guys laugh if you've been with me for a while. A few years back in one of my declutters, I decluttered the Going Coconuts palette, and I could not believe how many people were outraged is probably a strong word. But we're shocked that I decluttered that palette because clearly that is a favorite of very many people. I even had people in my own personal life, like friends of mine, that saw that video and wondered why I decluttered that palette because so many people love it. So ever since then, that has stuck in the back of my brain and made me question if I made a bad decision. And especially as over the last year or two, I've really gone in a more kind of basic and neutral direction with my eyeshadows. I've been thinking about that palette. So I thought it was time that we picked it up again, the palette that I decluttered. So that's the first one I want to show you guys. I did in fact pick up a new version of the Going Coconuts palette. And I will admit, as I was swatching these palettes, so I did already swatch these before starting this video, so I have seen all of the swatches compared to each other. I was just reminded while I was swatching this, why so many people love this palette. I formerly loved this palette as well. It was just one that I kind of had forgotten about. It really wasn't getting a lot of use out of me. That was kind of back in my more colorful days, so I just didn't reach for my neutral palettes as often as I do now. But man, you guys, this thing is gorgeous. I'm gonna include the swatches for you guys right here. I know you've all seen this palette before. There's probably a lot of you watching this video right now that own and use this palette regularly. So if you were one of those that were angry at me for decluttering this or just thought I was crazy, well, you are vindicated today because I am very excited to give this thing a try again. It is so pretty, and I have always liked it. I never disliked it. That's not usually the reason I declutter things. It's just because I have so much and I try so much. I try to declutter the things that I'm not using as often, but I have a feeling that this is one that I'm gonna get more use out of now than I did 3 or 4 years ago. I did pick up a couple of others. I also picked up the Deja Brew palette. Now, when I was opening up these 2 palettes today, the Going Coconuts and this Deja Brew, just based on like first glance, they kind of look similar to each other, but just take a look at the swatches of the Deja Brew. I'll insert those right here, and you will see these are very different. The Going Coconuts is quite a bit more rosy and slightly warm than the Deja Brew, which is very, very cool tone. So if you are a cool tone fan, you're probably gonna love this palette. It looks very pretty. I'm very excited to try this one. And then the last one I picked up is a bit more colorful. It is the Peach Out palette. Very pretty. Now this one, I will say though, of the 3 that I swatched already, haven't tried these on the eyes yet. So it is possible this may not be the case once I try them out on my eyes, but I was a little bit disappointed in this center shade here when I was swatching it. It seemed a little bit weak and chalky, and it has kind of a strange iridescence. It's like a gold with a pink shift to it that's pretty strong. It's more of a duochrome, which I'll be honest guys, there was a day that I loved duochromes on my eyes, and those days have kind of died. I don't really love duochromes on me so much anymore. I just feel like they're drawing a little bit too much attention to parts of my face that I don't want attention drawn to. But we'll see. Well, I probably won't try that one out today, but let me know if you guys are interested in seeing me try that one out in the near future. So let's get into some of the other things that I picked up. One being their Instant Crush Lip and Cheek Balms. These are so cute. They come in a little like heart-shaped packaging. This shade, I haven't actually finger swatched this yet. I had a hard time trying to decide which color to pick as I was looking at these on their website. It's always hard to tell from just like an online kind of pictures and swatches. Are the pictures more accurate or are the swatches more accurate? I went off the swatches and thought this was a good kind of basic pinky nude. Yeah, that'll probably be okay. It looks quite cool toned. Really nice formula, but I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll probably be nice. It just seems a little bit cool toned for spring and summertime. I usually like something a little bit more warm and poppy, but I am excited to try this formula out today. Let me know. I know a lot of people love this. I've seen a lot of people mention this or talk favorably about these. So I'm curious to know if you guys have tried these, if you have a couple of shades from them, what shade would you most recommend? By the way, the name of this shade is Larchmont Village. As I mentioned, I also picked up one of the concealers. I do already have this concealer on my face, by the way. I skipped that portion of the video. We're just gonna go right into like the cheek product, the lips, and the eyes. I just didn't want this video to be too long. But I went with the shade Light 50W. I have had this concealer before. It's been about 2 or 3 years since I ran out of this, and I finally am getting around to replacing it. I was very happy with it. I remember liking it quite a bit several years ago. And lastly, I did pick up 2 lip products from them. We probably will try both of these out today. I'll probably throw one on my lips right now, and then at the end of the video, I'll wipe that off and we'll try on the second one, which I'm very curious to see if this is hopefully a dupe for my Summer Fridays Cherry Lip Balm that I love so much. That thing comes everywhere with me. I'm almost out of it, and I only got that a few months ago. So let's cross our fingers. But before I do that, I picked up one of their So Juicy Plumping Gloss Balm. The one I picked up is in the shade Dolled Up. So let's give that a little swatch on the back of my hand. Ooh, that is very pretty. Actually, I don't really like the packaging. I don't like that this is a different color than this up here, which is a really stupid thing. That's not that big of a deal. It's definitely not a deal breaker. There's the color though. That looks very pretty. So let's go ahead and throw this on my lips right now. Very nice. Feels just slightly minty. Smells nice. It's not a strong smell, very subtly scented, if it's scented at all. Maybe it's just the mint that I'm smelling, but it feels very nice on the lips, very comfortable, decent amount of color. I actually really like that color, very pretty. This would be great with a little bit of lip liner, just kind of overlining the center of my lips. I'm such a fan of these kind of lip products. You guys know, if you've been watching me over the last couple of months, how much I love the Profusion ones. Those are my favorite right now. I also love the e.l.f. ones. I'm way late to the party on these lip pens, which I know have been around for quite a long time, and I don't know what took me so long to try these out because I think they're so nice and comfortable. So yeah, very happy with this so far. This will probably be a good addition to my growing collection. And then secondly, I picked up their Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm in the shade Cherry Glaze. So let's just have a little peek at this. Okay, it looks close. There it is on the back of my hand. I should probably go grab my Summer Fridays one, which lives in my purse. It's still up in my purse right now. I thought about bringing it down this morning and then didn't think about it after breakfast. That smells really nice and very similar to the Summer Fridays one, which also smells like artificial cherry. I'm actually not a big fan of the scent of artificial cherry, but I feel like that scent has grown on me as I have used that lip balm so often because I love it so much. So it's kind of like, it used to bother me a little bit. Now I'm not minding it quite so much. We're gonna pause really quick, jump over to the eyeshadow palettes, doing the eye look, and then also trying out the cheek. I keep wanting to say lip balm. It kind of is a lip balm too. I will never likely use this on my lips because that's just, I just don't do that sort of thing. So we'll try this out on my cheeks, and then towards the end of the video, we will give this a try on my lips and maybe compare it to, go grab the Summer Fridays one and see how those swatch compare to each other. So let's jump over to the cheek product first. Actually, before I do that, let me pin back my hair. I always forget to do this, and I hear from you guys sometimes. Pin back your hair, Mandy, and I know I feel your pain because as I'm editing my videos, I also am telling myself, Mandy, pin back your hair. You're driving everybody crazy. Okay, so back to the cheek balm in Larchmont Village. These feel really nice and buttery. They feel a lot like the Patrick Ta ones, the cream in the Patrick Ta duos. I think the reason I picked this shade rather than going with kind of like a peachy pink is because I feel like every time I'm trying out a new blush shade for the first time, I always pick the peachy pink nude. So I thought I should try something a little bit different. Actually, I'm gonna go right into the pan and then tap it off on the back of my hand. So we will see about this shade. Okay, that's very pretty. Ooh, that's lovely. It's more pink on the cheeks than I was anticipating. I thought it might be a little too mauve-y in tone. I mean, you look at that in the pan and it, even on camera, it looks very like grayish mauve to me. When I opened it up, I was a little bit worried. Okay, so there is the cheek color. Okay, that is gorgeous. Very happy with that so far. Definitely prettier color on the cheeks than it looked in the pan. Okay, with that, let's jump over to the eyeshadow palettes. I'm tempted to go with the Going Coconuts palette. Just based on the swatches, this is the one that I'm excited to use, but I know this palette is old news, like very old news. I've even owned it before myself, so I'm gonna hold off on this one today. And I do wanna try out this very cool toned Deja Brew. If you wanna see me come back and try out the Peachy palette, let me know. I want to insert the swatches for you guys again right here so you can see this. I did notice as I was swatching this, there's a lot of overlap with some of these shades. Like there's not a lot of variety in this one. I'm not super mad about that or anything, but I doubt this palette's gonna give you a lot of variety. But if you like your cool tone looks, I know some of you love a good cool toned eye look. So, all right, so we're gonna start off, just let me make sure I don't have any creasing on the eyelids. We're gonna start off in this shade right here. This is called Brew Me Baby. So even that shade, which just based on first glance looks like the warmest shade in this palette, is clearly very, very cool tone. I would love to know, I know a lot of you guys are big ColourPop fans, like you will buy ColourPop palettes in particular somewhat regularly. Because it's been a while since I have picked up some of their newer release palettes, let me know which ones you guys think I'm really missing out on. I'm very picky with cooler tones. I don't mind a cooler tone, but if something looks too gray on me, I just don't feel like it looks very flattering. And maybe that's because I just feel like as I get older, I almost feel like you lose some of your coloring. Like you just get a little more like sallow looking as you get older. And so having a little bit of warmth back in your face helps you out. And I mean on the eyes, on the cheeks, on the lips, like it just helps bring life back to your face that maybe you are missing naturally as you get older. And I feel like I'm putting that like grayness, I'm almost emphasizing some of that like sallowness when I do cool tones. This might totally all be in my head. I might be completely alone in feeling this way, but maybe, I don't know. You guys see what I'm saying? Does the gray just make me look a little dead? Feel free to disagree. Okay, let's jump over to, we're gonna take this darker brown right here. I'm gonna add this just to the tip of my Sigma E25 and just swirl this right along the lash line and slightly below. Kind of trying to build a little bit of depth and a little bit of shape at the same time right here. Let's move on to the shimmer. So oh my gosh. Let's first try out this center shade right here, which is kind of like just a nice silvery taupe. I'm gonna throw that all over the center of the lid. These shimmers feel amazing. I mentioned this one, the top of the peach palette, just that shimmer alone didn't feel quite as amazing as the other ones that I've swatched in all of these other palettes today, but this one feels incredible. Also, one more thing I wanted to mention to you guys that you may have not noticed this as I was showing you the close-ups of these palettes, but if you take a look at this peach palette and then this one, you see the pan sizes look a little bit smaller in this one than this one right here, which I have noticed before in some of their 9-pan palettes. But if you actually look at the packaging, it does say they both include 9 grams of product in them. I'm assuming that means there's the same amount in the larger and smaller pan sizes. I'm assuming these are just a little bit deeper maybe. So now we're gonna dip into this shade right here, which is it's like a icy silvery pink, I would say, or silvery champagne, grayish white maybe. Very cool. Once again, very, very cool in tone, as you can see. Oh, that is seriously intense. That might have been a good shade to apply with a brush because I feel like that's a little bit in your face, but that's okay. We're just gonna leave it there. Okay, I do wanna add just a little bit of eyeliner. I take my Wet n Wild eyeliner here, add just a bit of a baby wing, and then I'm gonna throw on just a couple coats of my e.l.f. Lash Extender Mascara, then I'll be back and we'll try out that other lip product. All right, the eyes are all finished. Very pretty eye look. If you are into your cool tones, I think you're really gonna like this palette. I'll be honest, for me, I don't dislike it. It's just much more cool than I typically go for. Like, I don't mind some cool tones, but I usually like something a little bit warmer up in my crease that's not quite so grayish in tone, and this one is truly cool tone, like quite gray in tone. But you be the judge whether or not this is your thing. So I do want to show you guys now the lip gloss. So I ran upstairs and grabbed my Summer Fridays. I just want to swatch these side by side and kind of see what they are looking like color-wise and how opaque they both are, how similar in shade they both are. Again, this is Summer Fridays Cherry Lip Butter. And then we have the Cherry Glaze in the Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Balm from ColourPop. So here's the Summer Fridays. And then right next to that, we have the Cherry from ColourPop. So they're close to each other. Let's give them a little like sheer out and kind of see what we're working with here. Kind of sensing that the Summer Fridays one, the tone is just a little bit more intense, but I mean, those look close. Very curious to see how this one appears on the lips, because I feel like the more I swatch them and blend them out, they look awfully close to each other. Ooh, that's promising. I'm very hopeful. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this lip balm, the So Juicy lip balm, which I actually think is really nice. It still feels comfortable. I put this on about 30 minutes ago, but we're gonna go ahead and wipe that off so we can get the full effect of the glossy lip balm. Okay, so oh, there's a lot. I'm so used to having to squeeze my Summer Fridays one so hard because it's half gone. I don't need to squeeze that hard with this one. I got a little bit too much. I am feeling like, I wouldn't call this a sticky lip gloss, but it is feeling just a little bit stickier than what I'm used to from the Summer Fridays, but I'm barely noticing that. It's not something that I would probably have noticed if I wasn't looking for differences or if I hadn't been very familiar with this already. But I think it's very pretty, very color-wise, pretty close. I'll keep playing with those. I feel like it's gonna take me a bit of time to really get to know this one, using it back and forth with my Summer Fridays, but I'm pretty hopeful about this being a very possible dupe for my beloved Summer Fridays Cherry Lip Balm. But with that, you guys, this is the completed makeup look using some ColourPop products. As for what I'm most excited about, other than both these lip products I feel like are going to be a win, I'm really excited about the cheek product. This is so pretty. I love the color of this one. Such a good nude blush shade that I feel like would go with just about anything. As far as how it feels on the cheeks, I am, as I'm touching it, just feeling the tiniest bit of tack to it. So keep that in mind. I don't mind that as long as it doesn't move around throughout the day, and it is something, if you have a very mildly pigmented blush, you can actually put on top of it to kind of like set it in place. But I sometimes like having a bit of hydration to my cheeks, as long as it's something that blends very easily. I'll keep playing with the lip products and let you know how those go. This eyeshadow palette I kind of already gave you my thoughts on. I think it's a very pretty makeup look. I'm more excited to try out the Going Coconuts. I actually kind of wish I would have tried this one out today. It just felt a little bit like not new because this thing's been around so long, and because I already decluttered it, I just felt like it was a bit of a pie in the face moment for me, but that's okay. We all make mistakes, and then I'm excited to give this one a try. I do love peach tones. As I was swatching this, it was kind of giving me vibes, hold on, of the new Bloom palette that I reviewed recently, which I will be honest, you guys, I don't hate this palette. It makes my eyes water pretty severely though. I've tried it like 6 times now, and as pretty as I think it is, I've never tried like a peachy or berry tone palette like that made my eyes water that much. I don't know why. That's so strange. So I'm curious to see if I have any similar issues with this one, but I do feel like this it reminds me a bit of sections of this palette, some of the shades inside here. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of this side by side. Definitely some similar vibes. So if you're looking to find like something similar and save a buck, maybe this is a good option instead. But I will test it out and let you guys know. Maybe I'll come back very soon and do like a get ready with me, because I actually have a couple other products that I need to try out with you guys, including some drugstore cheek products that I have not tested out yet. So maybe we will do that together in a future video very soon. So let that be a reminder to stay tuned and make sure that you're subscribed and that your notifications are turned on. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Before you leave, I'd love to know, what is your #1 product from ColourPop? Over all the years that we have all been testing out ColourPop makeup and buying from ColourPop, what is the thing that you most love to this day that is still a favorite of yours, or maybe something newer from them that you are very impressed with? I would love to hear that down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.